Here's a quote that I put down in my quote book that I wrote myself. It was a truth and understanding that I learned early on when I was doing my early investigations into myself as I meditated. And this was when I did a somewhat of a survey of my own life. And what I realized was that I, quote, I may have had a lot to appreciate as a child growing up, but I had very little understanding with which to do so. And it's really important, I think, that we learn this understanding of how and what to appreciate when we're young. I look back in my childhood and I see that there were, a lot of reasons to be appreciative. There were a lot of things that I didn't know then were such a great thing to have in life. You know, freedom. I had so much freedom when I was young. In fact, I have to say how great it was that my father put me in this situation, especially before I was 10. Most of my early life, where I was not indoctrinated by culture and society. He made sure that I didn't even have a social security number until I was a teenager. I mean, why would we want a baby to have a social security number? That's a worker's identification number. Why would they need that? But of course, we've used and turned that into identification for other things, now. But it's still valid. The point. Why tie yourself into the culture that's going to start indoctrinating you before you even have any way of thinking yourself through that indoctrination? It hardly seems fair. For example, in the Catholic Church, we may baptize a baby before they can think about their indoctrination in the church, but we won't confirm a baby into the Catholic Church. We won't confirm anybody into this church until we can talk to this person and they can talk back and think about it and know what they're thinking about and then agree upon what's being talked about. We still do them. We still we confirm kids. They're not that great of thinkers yet, but at least they can understand the basic tenets and stuff like that, and to know that they made a choice so that they can remember that choice when they're older, and if they want, they can undecide, they can unchoose. It was a choice. And I think choice is the spice of life, actually. Choice is the definition of truth for that philosopher Habermas that I was talking about before, when he said truth is consensus. And consensus is a really great word, because consensus means everybody's involved in the decision making. Everybody has a say and is listening to each other. Consensus is not majority rule. Consensus means that we're all in agreement about how the decisions are being made. And it's a little bit still like the majority rule, but it's because if you have 99 out of 100 people saying the sky is blue, and one person says, "But I thought it was yellow," and clearly these are just definitions, right, of what word we want to use to describe things. But yeah, 99 people are going to override that one person in this consensus idea. So it may seem like it's a majority rule, but the point of consensus is to listen to that one other person, to actually listen to them, because who knows, that one person may have a valid reason for saying why it's yellow, and convince everybody else. And that's the benefit of consensus, is that we're paying attention to each other, we're listening to each other, and can learn. We may learn from that one person who maybe is like Einstein, who I'm going to throw in autism here again. You just never know who will be the one person who can change the mind of the entire group. It might be a person who's autistic. It might be a person who's, you know, has a disability that you may think they would never be able to participate and help decide or influence opinions. But that's why I like the word consensus, because it takes everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what disability you have. If you're able to think about the conversation like everybody else, then you have a say. And then we kind of vote on that say.